All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Travi Wavi. I'm your affable host, Travis Eason, and we are coming to you again live in the 325 from beautiful, historic downtown Abilene, Texas, the storybook capital of America. We do these shows every Thursday morning right around 10. We'd love to have you come down and grab a cup of coffee next door at Majestic Coffee Shop. They serve Onyx coffee, the best in the country. And grab a cup of coffee, come by, watch us. We do this show, the Travi Wavi, followed by the Breakdown with Ben. And then you can also catch us Sunday nights live for the Singer-Songwriters Open Mic, hosted by Terry Knight and produced by our executive producer extraordinaire, Sam Wolf. Thank you, Sam. Well, I have been out of town for this last week, and good to be back here, and good to have a really good friend and special guest on today, Kina Mâche. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
So,
hey.
Cal's like a super famous person, and we're really excited to have her on, and we're all bubbly about it. But we'll start the interview the way we normally do and ask Cal about her siblings. So Cal,
Yes.
Any siblings?
I have one older sister who I think is 5 years older than me.
Okay. Are you guys close? Do you stay in touch?
We are close and we're complete opposites. She has like a genetic gene disorder, so she's been at home and most of her life and stuff like that. But she's always been like the most encouraging, like best older sister for me, and then like also my kids. Like she's always buying them stuff and checking in on them.
Awesome, fun aunt.
Yes,
That's good.
Yeah.
Is she nearby? Do you guys get to see each other very often?
Yeah, she's still in Rural. That's where I grew up in Rural. So she's there, and she does like her online stuff and reads books and does that. And so we touch base every now and then.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. And you grew up in Rural, Texas, and we got to know each other many years ago as fellow artists at the White Buffalo Art Gallery. I make you giggle with that one.
Oh my gosh! What I love was like, what year was that?
Man, okay, I got to think about that. That would have been like almost 14 or 15 years ago.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 14 years ago. I could be wrong.
That was like right when I moved to Abilene. And I remember the White Buffalo being like one of the first places like the White Buffalo. Like it's not there anymore, so I don't even know if people know what we're talking about.
No. So there was had a mutual friend who started basically like a wine and beer bar / art gallery, and invited a lot of local artists, you and me and Shay Mack. There's a whole host of us.
Yeah.
And we sold our work there on a commission. I think he took a commission, and he was open a few days a week, and people would go up and you can sell more art when people have had a few drinks.
Drunk.
Yeah.
That is the magic sauce
to
being a successful artist, is when people drink.
So, Stephanie Prozier, if you're thinking about trying to sell some more art up there, maybe just bring a keg up or
just alcohol all day.
Yeah.
That was in the same era as like Bonterra Blue.
Yes.
Yes. And that's where that's kind of where I got my start. That's like that and Relics.
Okay.
So when Relics was here and Becky and them were here, I would sell my art upstairs, the White Buffalo, and then Bonterra Blue. And so I have like a really funny story about the White Buffalo.
Let's go.
Okay. So that was like early on in my career. I was very, like, I feel like when you're starting out as an artist, like, half of it's creating, and then the other half is like learning how to price yourself because you're really scared about charging good amounts for your work. So you're really caught in this, like, who am I? Can I charge this much and make this much for my art? Like, there's a lot of like thinking going on. And I think the last thing you think is that like people are going to take advantage of you in these spaces that you go into. And like the art world is crazy.
Oh yeah. It's cutthroat.
And so I always tell people, like young artists, I'm like, be very careful, like, about who you do business with, and like, because, you can be so, I don't know, like doe-eyed about the whole thing and like believe and trust in everybody, and it can just really like jack you up, So I was at White Buffalo. I was selling my artwork. I was doing really well. People were coming in. They were buying this artwork, and there was another artist who was also in, and we'll call him Nick.
But not Nick Noblique.
Not Nick Noblique.
But we'll call him Nick. No longer in town. This artist has moved on.
I checked before the podcast. And so this is so crazy. So I was like really solid in my business model at the time. Like I was never a person that really asked for help or like asked for favors of people. Like I really believed in like, okay, you just work and you do what you do, and the right doors will open as you go along, and the right people will come into your life, and the right opportunities will come into your life as you go. You don't really have to like chase this thing or try to be something bigger than what you are. I was grateful to be where I was, so I really didn't expect this. So I met this artist and his wife at the White Buffalo. And, you know, it was just like I was hanging my art. They were hanging their art at the time. And he was like, we just got to know each other. There wasn't anything. And then after a while, a few months of being there, I had never mentioned anything to him about any like working together or anything. And he said, hey, you know, your art's doing really well here. And I have an aunt, and I sent her some pictures of your artwork, and she's in New York, and she kind of like really liked it, and she wants to maybe talk to you about doing like I could talk to her for you about maybe getting like a show or getting a piece in her gallery.
Okay.
And I was like, no, you know, it's okay. I really appreciate it, but you know, I'm good right now. Like I don't need to branch out too far and get too caught. No, like it wouldn't be anything for me to send her a couple pictures of your art. I was like, okay, if you want to. And so I was like, okay, that's cool, you know? And so he sends him a couple pictures of my art. And then later she has like an email response or a text response. I can't remember. And Nick's like, she loves it, Cal. She loves your art. And I'm like, seriously? She's like, yeah. She was like, she would love to hang like a few pieces. They're having this show in September that is going to be for like emerging artists. And she would love to have like 3 of your pieces and get to know you and get to have you in her show. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I feel like I know where the story's going.
Oh my gosh. And so I was like, oh, that's so great. And so I'm sitting there going like, okay, well, I need to make something really great for this New York show.
Sure, yeah.
I've got to
fresh
like...
work. God. Oh,
what
Jesus.
a dummy. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to like clear my schedule. And I kept telling him, I'm like, I do not want to tell any of my clients or social media that I'm going to be in this show until there's contracts, until, you know, I'm not going to look like an idiot. And so he was like, no, I understand completely. He was like, it's going to be so fun. Me, my wife, our family, we'll go up in New York. We'll stay with her. And he sent me pictures of like their penthouse because her husband was a cardiologist or something, surgeon there. And he's like, we'll stay with them. And, you know, it's a black tie thing, like the opening night. And just like mark your calendars. Like we'll get the tickets and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start emailing her. I'm emailing the aunt back and forth. And I'm saying like, I'm so glad you love this stuff. And she's wanting to get to know me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can't wait. We can't wait to visit. I go to their house, him and his wife's house. And their uncle or someone comes over and they're talking to me about the show. We can't wait, Cal. We can't wait to go to New York. We can't wait to be, it's going to be so much fun. And I'm creating the pieces. I'm doing all the work. And I go to coffee with Nick, and Nick gets on the phone, and he's talking to his aunt on the phone with the contract. He goes, I'm sitting right here with her right now. She's so excited. And he like slides the contract over, and I'm like reviewing the contract. I'm like, okay, this gallery, Aurora Gallery in New York. I Google it. I check it out. It's like legit gallery. I'm like, okay, like this is...
Yay, it's working out. Yeah. We're going to New York.
I'm going to be big time artist.
I'm going to be so famous after this.
Oh my gosh. And so I was like, he's on the phone with her. The family's on board. All this stuff is checking out. So I signed the contract. I'm like, okay. And so it's getting closer. Like I have the work done. It's getting closer to time to go. And I can't get a hold of her. We can't get a hold of her. And I'm like, hey, I need to know. We need to know when we need to book our tickets and all this stuff. And it was a couple weeks. And then he like responds and he's like, oh, he was like, she was in Milan. She's back from her business and everything's back on track. And so I'm already kind of like, okay, that's weird. And then it goes on a little bit longer. And then it was, he said, oh, what did he say next? it was first Milan, and then she was back, and then the show got changed.
Sure.
Okay.
Rescheduled.
Yeah. They were going to have a 9/11 memorial show.
Okay.
Instead of the other show, so it needed to be bumped back a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting like my gut was like going off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I Google the Aurora Gallery in New York, and I call them, and I'm like, "Hey, is Mary there? The owner? She's like one of the owners?" And they're like, "We don't have anyone here by that name."
Cal got catfished.
And so I was like, what the hell? And so I was like, oh my God. I knew instantly, like, this is all bullshit. And so I call him, and this is when I was like instantly. And he goes, oh my gosh, my email got hacked. Someone hacked my email and was pretending to be this lady from New York. I'm like,
My
your aunt? Like the one that you were on the phone with at the coffee shop. And
total BS.
Straight sociopath level, right?
Yeah,
but my thing was like afterwards, okay, so I was like, all right, I got catfish. I got to tell my art clients that I'm not going to New York or whatever, you know? And I was like embarrassed because I was like, I didn't need that. I didn't ask for that. You know, where would that come from? But then afterwards, it was like even worse because I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, why would you do that? Was it to spend time, hang out? You wanted my art?
Yeah.
Were you going to like,
steal it?
Yeah, or like, what about the family?
Yeah.
Was everybody in on this?
So wild.
Or is there really an aunt?
It's bizarre and it's wrong, but that does happen all the time.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you think the whole family was in on it?
Yeah, I think it was just total BS. And I wish I could give you more insight onto that one because I know the Nick that you're talking about, but I don't know. It's just bizarre. I've had not that experience, but similar experiences where people are just overpromising with no delivery date.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I think my sniffer has gotten better about that kind of stuff over the years to where it's like, no. Mm-hmm. You're so full of shit. I don't believe anything you say about that.
Yes.
That's a good story, though.
I know. But it sent me back it kind of heartbroke me for like
I bet.
a while.
I bet. To feel like taken advantage of and used. And I mean, it's kind of abuse in a way.
It is abuse because it was like the excitement.
Yeah.
That, you know, when we were saying like, oh, I'm dumb, I'm going to like make 3 new paintings.
Yeah.
And I felt dumb for that.
Yeah.
That excitement.
Yeah.
That like dream belief.
But you still made paintings.
Yeah, I mean, I still sold them.
So some of our audience that is kind of Texas-based might recognize you and some of your work. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about this, but I want to touch on it because this is why you're so famous. One of the reasons you're so famous in our area is all the wonderful mural work that you've done.
Yes.
In Abilene, I can think of 2 off the top of my head downtown, but I know there's more than that. And then I play this game. You like this. I play this game with whoever I'm driving with when I'm going down to like Houston, anywhere out of town. And I drive through a small town. And is that mural a Kina Mâche? Is it a Kina Mâche? That's the game we play.
That kind
you
of
like
rhymes.
That?
That's amazing.
Yeah. But that's a fun game we like to play. And you've got murals, I mean, just in almost just about every little town within a couple hundred miles of Abilene.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think so.
Yeah.
I sometimes lose count too, but I feel like I'm gone all the time painting somewhere.
Oh, I just thought of another one. You've got the one behind the local too.
Yeah.
But you're prolific. You've got art on buildings all over West Texas and probably more than that I don't know about. You paint on canvas.
Yes.
What else do you do artistically?
Lately it'd been gardening and homesteading.
Good.
I have some like creative things that I want to get into. I want to do some different things with my art, like some kind of like collaging stuff that I have in mind. I just haven't had time for it. But I just feel like, I don't know, we talked about this a little bit before we got on about like the labeling of like artist or this. I just sometimes think I'm more of like a dreamer and a creative. So that could mean like it's Halloween. I'm going to go all out on Halloween this year. That's my creative outlet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And so to me, that's a little bit I think the reason too I got a little turned off like as being an artist or being in art galleries or this, that, and the other, and why I took the street art route is because it's a little more rogue, it's a little more outlaw. It's like I kind of you take it or leave it, you know, whereas I got really turned off by the idea of early on being in galleries for obvious reasons. But other reasons is like I just never saw myself as an artist who what I was creating was like it's like some artists I feel like the way that they talk about their art, they think it's like they are God's gift to like the world with what they create. And it's like, no, it's beautiful that you create something, but I don't attach that ego that I think that kind of is in a lot of the galleries. Like they want that out of you. They want you to come in and romanticize them about how deep everything is and
the
how
meaning.
My God. And it's just like, man, I just love color. I love to create. And it's like, it's not that I can't do that for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. It's kind of like, I always struggled when someone would ask me like, well, you know, what does it mean or whatever? And it's like, what do you think it means? You know, because like for me, it meant that I took a canvas out and painted it. And that's my extraction, right? And I created it. What does it mean? I don't know. You know, like,
why does it have to mean anything?
Why does it have to mean anything? I feel the same way about tattoos, you know? What does your
Yeah.
tattoo mean? That I got a tattoo.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
And I think people don't like that.
I think,
They want you to attach some deep meaning to everything.
So this will be kind of a good segue maybe, because I've been, you know, I've wondered my whole life, like just this dichotomy between like sports and art, right? And like what's funded, what do people put their attention on, all this stuff, what do people want to grow up and be, and then there's art. And it's like we need it to be more than it is. It can't just be an expression of our humanity or of our fear or of our love or grief or whatever. Creativity, I think, should just be that. But we want to like make it valuable. We want to like capitalize on it. We want to commoditize it. We want it to be all these other things that maybe it's just paint. Yeah,
I agree with you. And I think that when you say it like that, it just reminds me of like, it's kind of how people are in general. It's almost like we don't really care about you as a human unless you're doing something extraordinary.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like motion doesn't have a value until you make it have a value.
Yeah.
Until you make me pay a certain price to value your emotion, then I don't value it. And that was one of the things I learned as an early artist is like, you have to charge a lot for your art or people won't care.
Yeah, they don't think it has any value.
Yeah.
Because they only value the capital aspect of it. Yeah. It's strange.
But then again, I think that some of the people who collect art, I mean, there's different kinds of people, but some of the least favorite of my people that I know that collect art, they don't have anything cool going on about them, and they only collect it because they think it makes them cool by having it or having something someone else doesn't have.
Oh, look, I have a Kina Mâche.
They collect you. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
It is exhausting. I don't want to harp on the murals too much because people can drive around and find them. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. You have a style that's unique to you. I remember when you started muraling and you called me up and you said, Trav, what's a good paint to use on the brick? And I said, Molotov, you know, like, let's go, girl, get it. But painting outside in Texas is a bitch.
Listen, Cameron Alexander paints murals too. We've collabed on a lot of projects, and we're a lot alike. Like we both just don't have the ego for it, and we'll get together and we just are sitting there, and we're like, he's like, I think the oil field was easier than this, but because it's like you're birthing art on a large scale, and that's the thing. Maybe that's part of the reason I sometimes get uninterested about harping on like my art career, is because I really do think it is like a gift from God. Like I don't know where my art comes from, and half of the time when I'm painting it, I'm kind of in a zone, and I couldn't, like, if you tell me the week before, I make myself sick before a big project. I really do. The nerves of, am I going to pull this off? Can I
to that.
deliver what they're wanting? Like, it is very, very stressful for me. And so maybe that anxiety kind of gets me to the point of like, that's what pushes me to accomplish it. But when you're talking about that, and then you've done it for 10 years, you know, when I was younger, it was like I could look at a wall and it'd be like, oh yeah, that'll take me 4 days. And it's like the rose-colored glasses. It may take me 2 weeks, but it was like the dream state of, it'll take me 4 days. Now I look at a wall and I know exactly how much effort it's going to take.
Yep.
And it, you know, the humidity and the heat, the wind is the worst. The worst.
To spray on a windy wall with like brick or anything, it's like good luck.
And it's just the wind through your body. And because then it becomes, the older you get and the more time you've done it, it becomes like a ticking clock. Like you don't want to red line. Like you don't want to push yourself. So like I used to work like 10-hour days. Now I work like 5-hour days because I can't red line or I won't be able to work the next day.
Yes.
So I have to call it early.
Yep.
Because my knees, this, that, but when it's windy, it's like it takes out you'll get sick. You'll get like almost flu-like for a couple days, and then you're like, okay, got to recover. And so my ability to like knock these out super quickly has definitely slowed down, and I've been a lot more interested in like collaborating with other people and making it a team effort now.
So you still are doing some mural work. You're still painting. You're staying home with the kids and gardening. Get chickens?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how many chickens?
Oh, my gosh. Chickens are like the gateway drug to all conspiracy theories, by the way. That's where it starts.
I think that's true.
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
Chickens. Well, let's stay on chickens for a minute.
Can I tell you why it's the conspiracy?
Yes.
Does y'all know why it's the conspiracy theory opener of all time?
I have a theory, but you go ahead.
Okay, well, if you don't have chickens, you should get chickens. That's number one. And I mean, because before you have chickens, you go to the store and you buy eggs and they're white and they're refrigerated and that's how you go, right? But after you get chickens and you learn like, oh, the chickens, when they're fresh out of the chicken, you can take it, put it on your counter, don't wash it. It can stay there for weeks, months. Yeah. And the egg color is
beautiful,
so rich.
Yep.
The taste is so amazing.
So much better.
And then you go, why is it like that at the grocery store? And then you find out they're in these like towers of chickens, like 70 rows high, all crapping on each other. So then the eggs roll down. It's inhumane. They don't have any access to like real food and bugs and protein. So you're eating garbage eggs. You're eating garbage. Yeah. No nutrients whatsoever. Sick chickens. You can tell by the yolk color. And then they roll it down, and because they're all stacked upon each other, crapping on each other, you have to wash the egg. It's not clean. So then you wash it in water and bleach. Then it takes the seal off, which allows bacteria in. So then you have to refrigerate it. That's disgusting.
And that's chickens for you.
And that's the government.
And that's the government. Well, let's go a little deeper, Cal. So, you've with the murals, you've worked with a lot of different communities of all different sizes and gotten to experience, different levels of politic in these various communities and what the communities value and how they might budget for a project like that. So you have a lot of insight, and I don't even know how to frame the question, so I'm going to let you kind of frame the question.
I can't wait.
This is something that I'm really excited to learn about. You have a wealth of information about, and I really want our audience to think about what you're going to share with us.
Okay, I have been wanting to share this for years, but because I market a lot to, at the time I was living in Abilene, I was very involved in downtown, I was very involved in the small business, so we'll backtrack. So back to what you were saying. So small towns and the murals and sitting in these city meetings. So what I found out was sitting in all these different meetings is that there's definitely different ways that the money is divvied up and what projects they're allowed to spend that money on. And it all is according to how the city is laid out. And so I started hearing this stuff, and then I started going and I started kind of like looking back at my time in Abilene, and like we all have the same joke. Like Abilene's a black hole; it sucks you in and it stays. And everybody who's attracted to the downtown, they see these buildings empty, they see the potential, and they go, if we just band together and have some cool ideas and put some little events on and we open a shop here and a coffee shop there, like we're going to make it happen. Right. And I was here when I first got here, like I said, I was at Relics with Becky and Abby, who were on Design Star. They were in their 30s then, and they were like gung ho on making Abilene downtown cool. You know, and I watched it eat them up. I watched it burn them out. I watched them pack up that business and leave town, and that was number one. I was like, that sucks. We lost some really cool people in downtown.
Cool business.
In downtown Abilene. And then, you know, since then I was there when Tim was, you know, wanting to do the Soda District, when Horatio was over here wanting to do the Windsor. I was there from the dream to the finish on all things, when, you know, you had the local and Sam's place here and Lisa and the arrangement. I've seen it all. And I just go and Ted, who's kind of, you know, I hear the same complaints, and which is very interesting because I actually I'm an admin on the support small businesses in Abilene.
Okay.
That we started during COVID.
Okay.
And so this is kind of, it ties together because this is like part of the reason I know for sure this is a reason that Abilene is in the gutter on a lot of things. One of the biggest things is that people feel like in this town, they don't know why, but there is a gut feeling, there is a sense that Abilene hates small business, or that small business struggles here in Abilene. Like, why don't we have like quality of life type of things here, right? Like, why do we have these hospitals, the Air Force Base, all these factories, and nobody seems to care if like people are actually enjoying their lives here in Abilene? Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay. And so then you see these people who come in and they're dreaming and they're like, why isn't their businesses successful? Like, why are we not staying open with that? And there is absolutely, in my opinion, a reason. And this is a reason that I have talked about with prior people in the government here in Abilene and with the city, and prior presidents of some of the organizations that I'm going to be talking about. And they secretly will agree with me. And they go, but we can't be the ones to say it. You would have to be the one to start that conversation. And when I did try to start that conversation, I found out very quickly that there was a lot of powerful people who would get very pissed off and did not want to have that conversation. So
basically what we're talking about is revenues and funding and where that ends up in the long term with people. Okay.
And it matters.
It does matter.
And so, but people don't realize where it goes and what's happening. So I'm pretty sure that I'm picking the right organizations here. So we'll go with a grain of salt on that because it's been a minute. But what I found out was when I was going to go do a mural in a small town, you're either an A board or a B board.
Okay.
In funding.
A or B board for funding.
Or B board. Later, I found out you can also be a strict A board, or you can be a super B board, which is like a municipality something. Like, okay, so that's like, we'll just call it a super B board, but it's called something else. So that is your sales tax. So every business, when you make a profit here in town, whatever you're doing, there's a sales tax percentage. 8.25,
I think.
Okay, that goes to the city, and they do like roads, they do all the things, whatever they have to do with it, right? But there's a 1%, I believe, it's 1% or it's a half of 1%, whatever it is, goes to your EDC. And I'm pretty sure I'm picking the right one by saying your EDC, economic development. Okay. So you have your chamber. Okay. Now I'm going to say this because I'm going to say it because I feel like people say it in secret here. I know I've been in the circles. I don't think the Abilene Chamber does a very great job supporting small businesses. You have to pay to play. Now, maybe they will actually support you if you play and they'll back you up. But you have to pay a membership in order for them to come and celebrate your business, or in order for your name to be in the top 40, this, that, and the other. You're paying to be into that. So if you're not in that, the chamber's not going to come by and celebrate or support your business. So as much as they may be great for those those types of businesses, it's not helping everyone as a whole.
Yep.
And the minute that you're out of there, you forget it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So now let's go back to your EDC. Why this is important. Abilene is one of the only strict A cities in the state of Texas.
No kidding.
So now let's think about why that is, because I'm not going to just throw Abilene under the bus. When the cities were decided on how they would be presented in the sales tax, how that money would be spent,
A board
because
or B board.
they collect it, and then there's certain guidelines on which you can spend that money on. So they have this fund every year from y'all's businesses, and they're sitting on that money, and they go, we can only spend it on this, this, and this if you're with an A board.
Okay.
You can only spend it on this, this, and this if you're with an A B board, and then you can spend it on this if you're with a super B board.
Okay.
Okay. So common sense says you at least want to be in the middle.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But we're not.
Okay.
And we're very proud.
To be strict A.
And you feel it in the government here. You feel
Yes.
it in the city. You
Yeah.
feel it in the EDC. You
Yeah.
feel it with the type of people they hire, the type of conversations they have.
Yep.
Okay. And a strict A board back in the days, you got to think this is Key City. So we're in flat plains. We're in the middle of kind of an oasis. At the time, they were competing with all these other cities in the state. They wanted industry here. They didn't care so much about quality of life. It was like, get us industry so we can get more money in our pockets to build. Okay. So I understand Dyess Air Force Base, hospitals, these things, right? Tiger Boat Company, like all those kind of corporations.
Yeah.
And that's why we're
Generate jobs.
exactly.
Bigger tax revenue.
So we weren't so worried
It's growth, but it's growth not towards quality of life. It's growth towards building a tax base that then we can continue to grow and push that whole industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at that time in life, I don't feel like quality of life was that important at that time, right? Like we were more industry driven, okay? Now, what they don't want you to know is that you can vote on how your city is aligned. That if enough people get pissed off and they say, we're tired of being a strict A board, people can't. I think you only get to vote on it once, so you have to take it pretty seriously. Maybe. But you can come together and say, hey, guys, like, we no longer just want to be industry driven here because there's people who live here. We also want quality of life projects, which tends to lead to more of the B board side of things.
Right.
So your strict A board is they're using that money to go and they're like using that money to bring in new industry business. So they're recruiting with that money, right?
Cheese factory.
Yes.
For example.
So that's AI.
Yeah. Data
Cheese
center.
factory.
Yeah.
All your
Stargate.
corporations, you see it, right?
Yep.
And so, so what ends up happening though is that money doesn't get spent always. So they have millions of dollars they're sitting in an account. At the time years ago, it was like 30 or so.
Jeez.
Okay, I don't know what it is now or where that money is,
Yeah.
but they have millions of dollars sitting in an account that they are just holding on to for the projects that they feel when they want.
That fit within the strict A board.
Strict A board. So then when someone with a small business wants to do an event or needs awnings or wants to do beautification projects or mural projects or quality of life projects, and they go to the city, they say, oh, we're not going to fund that. They
It doesn't
can.
fit our
exactly.
tax. Yeah.
They have an out. Now, I'm not saying they always will do that. They may still sometimes be able to fund it in a different way or vein, but it definitely gives them an easy out to say, like, that's not what that money is allocated for. Okay. So they go and so why you feel like you're a small business here and you're doing everything in your heart and power to grind and, like vagabond, like these people, Cyprus, they're grinding and they're putting their heart and soul and everything. And you're not seeing any help back.
Yeah.
And you can tell me like, okay, then you move over to your AB board. This is like you still have money. You split that money. So that 1% gets split or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you have
Attracting new business plus funding quality of life. Yeah.
Okay, so now we have both. That seems like
Seems reasonable.
in reasonable because now in this time of life when people are looking back to Abilene because the American dream is still alive and well here, they see the potential of downtown. Cost of living is low or was. They can raise families here. They feel like the community's safe. You would think as a city government, you would see the opportunity for us to revisit and go, maybe quality of life is important. Maybe we do want to get our parks better. Maybe we do want to do these things. And maybe we do want a downtown that has a heartbeat and soul and events and marketing. And we're actually focusing on helping shine this, right? And so to me, that's like the least that you would be willing to do. But
can I interrupt
go ahead.
real quick? So I just came back from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is my hometown. And I'm not sure about South Dakota and sales tax and if they even have A and B boards up there. I'm totally unclear about that. But I will tell you, Cal, that Sioux Falls is not that much bigger than Abilene, and the quality of life there is so much better than most of the citizens here could even start to realize. And I was talking with some friends up there, and I would like to start some sort of chamber exchange with the Sioux Falls Chamber of Commerce and Abilene Chamber of Commerce, maybe just to get some other eyes on it. Not to say that they're doing everything right or that we're doing everything wrong, but just to start that discussion and maybe get some other viewpoints on it, because we have sun here 365 days a year, and our bike trails are terrible.
Yeah.
We don't have a walking community, a biking community. Our park system is okay, but they're not interconnected. We could certainly use more pools and splash pads here. We could do a whole lot more for our low-income populations as far as access to transportation. Our airline has, I know we passed a bond to increase to redo the airport, but like 5 flights a day is really not cutting it for us.
Yeah.
A bus route that only has 1 stop every day that's not working for people. That's not helping improve their quality of life. Handicapped people without access to sidewalks. I mean, it's just such basic things that it's like, I think I took a lot of that for granted living in Sioux Falls, and now being here for 25 years, it's so blaringly obvious. And the other thing that you mentioned is it's almost become a running joke in my mind, this idea that downtown Abilene has so much potential, but I've been hearing that for 25 years.
And it eats everybody up and spits them out.
And we're still struggling. Like, is it better? Yes, it's better, but y'all, we could be so much further down the road right now if we had some funding and some support.
Some support for our, if the people of Abilene's heart who are in small business in downtown aligned with our city governments, elected officials, whoever in the boards has the money, if they would just slightly align, Abilene would take off. And I have an example that I'm right.
Let's go. Because
here's the thing about going to all the towns, all the dirt.
Yep.
So I go to the AB towns. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I'm in the heart of downtown while the north side, south side war is going on, with Tim Smith and the soda district. Who's going to develop what side first before COVID, which was an exciting time. Like,
it was good.
We almost had it. We almost had enough momentum with people and passion that it was like, we can do this, and then COVID hit and everything kind of died. And I'll get back to starting the small business page and that, and, some of that too. Brownwood was the second strict A board in the state of Texas.
And we just hired their former city manager, so we're just keeping it in line.
If he was recent, it might be good. If it was recent, if it was a long time ago,
because they changed it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, here, okay, yes. They changed it. They changed the board system or whatever. So Brownwood was the second strict A board, right behind Abilene. Now, if you looked at Brownwood about 7 years ago, it was a ghost town, complete ghost town. Okay. They had Fort Hood, they had military, they had all these things, and everything dried up. There was nothing going on in Brownwood, Texas.
Lots of meth.
Lots of meth, yeah.
Maybe some meth.
Yeah.
Maybe some good meth. I don't know. While I was there, nobody offered me any meth, so now I feel a little like... So, I don't know. But they...
So they changed.
I was there doing a mural, and so they have there are such cool little small businesses that opened up. Now there were but it's just like here. There were people who were authentic and they had a little passion, a little dream, and they opened a business. But the city government changed from a strict A board. They voted in. They went rogue Everybody was like, what are y'all doing? They voted to go to a super B board.
Okay.
Completely
the whole other
getting
direction.
away from industry,
Yeah.
pouring solely into quality of life.
Yep.
So all of their money, and I'm not kidding you, like the entire square is open, high-end steakhouse, investors from Austin, Dallas, buying up everything, like the whole block. We went like 2 years later, and the city was like, they were having a blast, like so approachable, so fun, going out to dinner with the whole team, and just community driven. And they were putting on a Cinco de Mayo, which you're like, who's going to come to Brownwood for Cinco de Mayo? There was like 10,000 people who came to, and they were droning it, and they had commercials and videos, and they were marketing. They were supporting. You know, they made sure that they were going in and posting about their businesses and what they were having and what they were doing. They were showing that support. I don't know how many people here, well, we used to talk about when we would have businesses and bars and stuff, and we're like, do you ever see anybody from the city here supporting? Very rarely. Maybe after an event or something, someone would come in and do something, but the small businesses in Abilene are on their own because they are overlooking. They go, it's nice, we enjoy your tax money, but we're trying to catfish. We're trying to bring in someone, catch a fish that's like from out of town.
Yep.
We don't really care if y'all are enjoying your living here.
Well, and you know, just to highlight that, what's happening right now, again, we talk about this all the time on this podcast, but the Stargate facility, the Lancium project that's being built north of my house, 5 miles, is absolutely disrupting this community. And as much as, you know, Sam Altman with OpenAI says we want to be transparent about everything, I don't feel like many of us are getting our answers or getting our questions answered very well. And, you know, just the fact that we have 6,000 transient workers now as of the end of last month. There's no hotels. There's no Airbnbs. What's going to happen when graduation comes? What's going to happen when the fair comes to town in a few weeks? Where are people going to stay? And this is all because we think that a 15%, well, we gave them an 85% abatement. So we're going to collect 15% taxes on that project in the future on land tax.
That's it?
As far as I know, and I would love for someone to come and correct me on that.
Yeah, in the comments, if you know.
Oh, but all the businesses and all the people, won't we get the trickle down from that?
Trickle down economics has been proven not to work.
I don't know, you know, it's like, okay, well, could we at least get some like fun splash pads while we're ushering in the Antichrist?
Right? Can we get some, you know, like everybody loves the Cedar Creek walking trail. It's fabulous.
Yes.
And it's just a few miles. That should stretch from, you know, Lake Abilene to Fort Phantom. And we should have a loop around town. We should be able to invite people to downtown in other ways besides driving.
100%. There should be every business, every building, everything should just be open. Like, and here's, I'm going to just go to the little bit left about digging into that side of the thing was during COVID. So like at this point we had all poured, Sam was here too during all of that time in downtown. We were all in our own areas of downtown pouring our heart and soul into trying to get, we were, you know, I was in, starting the lighting project at the time, and we had that ball rolling. We're connecting.
I'm sorry I poo-pooed on that one for you.
It's okay. Literally everybody. Hey, I was out. I had to start, and then I was like, "Come on, guys, that could have been so much cooler."
Been cooler. Yep.
And they just like totally messed that up. But it's fine. Whatever. I'm out of it. I don't care. I tried. So we were doing all this stuff, and everything was going, and then COVID hit, and like I was very pissed off during that time. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, we're going to shut down and we're doing all this stuff, and I was like, what about the small business? What about the small business? Like, who's making sure, you know, all this? And at the time I got really into it with the head of the base's wife. She's contacted me, and I said, well, you don't get an opinion. You know why you don't get an opinion? Because you get paid every month. These people don't get paid unless they're going to work. Yep. During this time. Yep. Stay at home. You can stay at home because you're getting a paycheck. Yep. So I was mad. So we had a debate. And we were like, nah. And I was like, okay, what are we going to do about it? And so we started this page. We're like, let's find a way for small business to connect to people and let them know their drive-throughs open, let them know in one place, like who's actually still open, where can we still get services. So we opened that page where everybody could go and kind of know like, hey, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. You can pick it up here or whatever. And it's like over, I don't know what it's grown to now. It's in the thousands, like over 10,000 people that use that page to let you know what small business is going on in town. But doing that, I was so mad. I was just like, what about, I knew about the money. I knew about how much money was sitting in a thing. And I'm like, why isn't our government giving people help right now? Businesses help right now. And I ended up contacting like the DCOA and all this. And I was like, I'm going to tell people about the sales tax and we're going to start getting people together to vote on this, to change it. And they were like, no. Like we don't want it. Like people didn't want it to do that. And that's not the people who are there now. I don't think, I don't know if it's the same people, but they were like, it seemed like, I cannot say this for sure, this is a conspiracy theory of my own. It just seemed like there were certain people who definitely benefited from an A board system that allowed them to have power and control and say where the money flowed. And it kind of gave them the power to determine the vision for the city and what it looked like. And they weren't wanting to let go of that control so much that when I was emailing them about it, saying like, I will tell everyone that they were like, oh no, we will give money and help people. So supposedly during that time, they were like, hey, if you're a struggling small business, you can apply and we'll help you get some money during the time. I don't know if anybody actually got that money.
I haven't heard of anything like that.
But they did do something during that time. So that just tells to me, that was just like, you just really don't want this to happen. You don't want people to know about it.
So I'm trying to connect some dots just for myself here, like talking about this A and B board and Abilene being the strict A board. And we also are known for our nonprofits here. We have a gazillion nonprofits. So much so that I've even heard some people in those circles recently talking about we almost have too many nonprofits. There's not enough funds to go ask for. And I'm wondering if there's a correlation between those two. And if we were to become more of an AB or even a B, what is it?
It was Super B. It's called like a municipal something board.
If we were to become more of a Super B, we would have that funding that was generated from sales tax to fund a lot of the projects that some nonprofits might be looking for money for.
Yeah, I don't really know how the nonprofits play in and who they go to for money, but you know, it's just to me, it's just very interesting. And I actually love politics. Like I love because so much happens in the dirty details. It's like what you don't know is their power. You know what I mean? And so it's like you have to be at the meetings or you have to hear different things. And if you don't know it, you don't know it. And then you just wonder why. And so I just think people are going to be interested about that. And the AI thing is back to that has me too, like beside myself, because I'm out in Stanford now. And I thought we were getting one AI project. I thought we were getting the one here.
No.
Now they're popping up in Hamby, they're popping up Lake Stanford. And the water, I heard that it reuses the water, but I've also heard it's going to pull a lot of electricity from the grid. But sitting in some of these small town meetings, they were talking about the Texas water crisis like a long time ago. And this was before immigration came in. All the people flooded into the South. This is before everybody left California and came to the state. And now we're having this influx of all these AI centers. And it's like, guys, like, what are you doing? Like, thank you for selling us out to be AI's brain for 2 to 3 years. Like, listen to the experts on shows. The only experts saying AI is going to be good for us are the ones that are getting paid to create AI. And they're making billions. They're telling these people, you can have billions if you come in and do our AI. And the guys are like, well, okay, but now it's becoming ethically, and I'm not for sure if I should be doing this because it seems like it's going to end humanity in a few years. And they're like, okay, we'll fire you and we'll replace you instantly. So they just take the bag. But the people who know about AI are like, we cannot, it's very simple. It quantifies in its abilities. So every time it grows, we don't know what the next growth will be capable of.
Exponential.
Yes. And so exponential growth. And so the problem is that humans can't put in safety measures that the AI doesn't outgrow. So eventually it will go rogue. It has been proven to go rogue. and we don't know what it'll do with us. We just know it'll lock us out of the system.
My guest last week, Clint Rosenbaum, talked about, he wasn't super familiar with the AI data center specifically, but when people ask him about AI, he takes it back to the slide ruler or even Google Maps. And I'm like, there's some truth in that any time that we come up with a technology that's going to do some thinking for us or whatever is like moving that intelligence up the ladder or whatever.
Yeah.
But we mentioned this before the show, thinking back to like Facebook coming out in 2007 or 2009 and the algorithms, every single one of us that uses social media has our own personal bubble bias around us that has been created by the algorithm. And now if we have artificial intelligence agents that can make decisions for us to push even more content or whatever to reinforce our own personal bubbles, how is that helping us in a creative fashion? How is it helping us in a community fashion? I feel like we should all be, we lost the newspaper. We've lost the television networks that are local. And I think in some ways those used to keep us like all kind of on the same page.
Yeah.
Right? Like just that communal
locally.
hive mind. Like we all kind of knew what was happening. And now you can't even find that information half the time.
Listen, we're already in the matrix because before I did art, I was a behavior analyst. And what we studied was human behavior, the why of what drives all human beings. What do they do? And it was very fascinating. I love brain books. I love the brain and mind. I think it's absolutely fascinating. It was the first computer. And it has its own algorithm, right? So data, at that time, we would take data on everything. That told us what the person was going to do, how to change the environment to change the behavior, what to take away, what to add to it. So when we all got on social media, when we all started using our phone, it tracks everything. If you stop on a picture and you look at it for 0.5 seconds, it goes, "Oh, I'm going to show you more of those pictures." Okay, it knows your every desire. Honestly. Okay. So it can gift you that, right? And so you say, well, it starts showing me. And so it starts building this like reinforcement around me. So I start thinking I'm right in my ideas. Well, now it's been proven that most comments, most of the activity on the internet is bots. So not only are they controlling what you see, but they're saying, this is what's popular.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yep. It's like, no, go ahead.
So they're controlling you on it. Even like now it's like, oh, every girl should be an OnlyFans girl. They're driving that because look at this. Like, look how famous Kim Kardashian is and all these things. It's like they're driving you to say like this is what is good and what you should be. And people who are good and wholesome and posting and doing things that are real and beautiful, they're stuffing that down. Nobody's interested in that.
Yep. Nobody wants humanity anymore. We want this transhuman
and
whatever.
And here's the deal: is like. And I have found God. I found God, found Jesus, and I'm like, amen, that I can have peace in my heart at the end of the day, that when this becomes overwhelming to think about and discuss, it's like, I already won. Like, I let that go and all of this. But for me to like zoom out into conspiracy land is like, you hear AI, that it essentially is creating some kind of like great entity, right? And it's going to, then how does it connect to us? And the thing is like you listen to the deep podcast of Elon and things like that, and the Neuralink, when their goal in the next year is to be able, you go in and get your Neuralink, which will essentially be your iPhone upgrade, and on your lunch break in an hour, they pop it in. And at first it's like everything. It's going to be accepted because it's going to help you see again. It's going to help you walk again. Because everything in our body is electromagnetic pulse. If you're depressed, it signals to be depressed. It signals to do these things. It will override those systems for you. It will help you heal, help you be healthy. People will accept it because of this. It'll help you live longer. It'll help you in all those
better
ways.
Decisions.
And his argument is that when AI, which is unstoppable, and it's going to be a superhuman thing, once it reaches a certain level, we will be so dumb, it'll be like talking to a tree, is what he said. So we will have to, if we want to survive,
partner with it,
have to become
upload
symbiosis with it. We have to become one with AI.
Transhumanism.
It's right. So now we are not human any longer. We are coming to its point in time. You will have to choose
human or not. This is fascinating.
And
Cal.
why I think that it is biblical and why I find my faith so much in this time. And I encourage people who listen to this podcast to please like pray for, because I didn't for a long time have that. So I know what it feels to question that. And I question everything. But I really hope and I pray, I do believe in the power of prayer. And I do believe that you should search for that, because why would someone want to put something in you? And it's because, think about it, like, right now, if you believe in good and evil, if you believe in what the Bible says, God can hear your thoughts and be in your everything. If you put that chip in your brain,
it can hear your thoughts.
It can hear your thoughts. It can read your thoughts. It can know your body. It can do these things. And it maps your brain. It maps your brain. So you have ways that your brain fires. Mm-hmm. It will map that. It can predict your behavior. It can upload your personality on a computer. We can go back and talk to you after you're dead on a computer. Yeah. Now, why would you want to put a Neuralink in someone so at first they are living their best life? And that's what they promised us with AI. You guys, it's going to be a utopia. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have robots. They're going to help us with everything, and we're just going to enjoy. First off, human beings do not do well without a purpose, without suffering, without struggle, without accomplishment.
Amen.
We are going to be pleasure-seeking cocaine monkeys at an orgy. It is going to be hell on earth during those years.
Dang.
People are going to get bored. Have you ever seen a kid play GTA 5 or 6 or whatever it is? They steal cars. They think it's cool for a little bit. Then once you have 6 or 7 of those cars in the thing, what do they do? They're going to start killing people and doing stuff because they're bored.
Yeah.
It's like what the insanely rich are doing to us now.
Yeah.
And so you go through and you say, okay, you're going to pop this in. We're going to help you. People are going to give their rights away. Say, yes, please, let me live forever. Let me. And oh, by the way, all these smart cities, you're not going to be able to access them unless you are. And so there's going to be a divide. Either you're old school human, broke, poor, or you're moving on with the rest of us. But if you don't think that there might be a little bit of a more sinister plan in the whole, like, we're going to become multi-planetary beings, can our organic bodies handle space travel?
Absolutely not.
No. So what do you think the Optimus robot that we're all going to invite into our homes is going to be uploaded eventually with? Our consciousness.
So our consciousness can go to the stars, but our physical bodies might stay here.
And then this world, when Sam Altman has computer chips around the whole world, you don't think that that's just going to become one big battery and they're just going to let us die off, the regular, normal humans.
Yep.
And they're going to be on to the next.
Man. Okay, so we need a couple things, Cal. Couple things. This is amazing.
Where's my tinfoil hat?
You went so much harder on the subjects that I really wanted to get my teeth into, and you just did it so perfectly. So a couple things. Can we have you back on?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Can we start a political? Can we start a coalition here in town? Something that we've noticed over the years voting in Abilene is we really only need about 3,000 to 5,000 votes to make anything go. If you want a seat on the city council, you need about 3,000 votes, right? In a town of 130,000. Can we start a coalition to push Abilene from a strict A to a super B board?
It probably will never be super B.
Can we move to an AB?
The best that we will do in Abilene is an AB. A super B board would get shot down because there's so much in motion for industry. The infrastructure is built for industry.
Well, we do have a new city manager. I can't remember her last name. Her first name's Cynthia. She did come from Brownwood, so she would have some familiarity with this. I do think there's enough people that if they had the right education on the subject would be willing to vote to move some of those funds and resources that are already collected. We already paid it. It's not any new taxes.
No.
It's just directing that funding that's already been collected to more quality of life issues rather than more industry. And again, I want to just make I want to use the Stargate as an example. Has it brought in new jobs? Yeah, 6,000 new jobs. Are any of those jobs local? No. I mean, I know a handful of people that are working out there. Most of those people are transients. They've come to our community, so they may be paying a little bit in tax, some of that sales tax, or the hotel tax, right? So we're getting a little bit of that revenue back. But as far as quality of life, or that they're going to stay here and raise families. That's not happening.
They're extracting.
And
the thing is like why wouldn't you want a really fun downtown or really fun and support that so that people actually, when they get out of the military or get out of the healthcare system, say, you know what, we love Abilene, we're going to stay. Or we are going to open a business down here because it's a really cool place. No, people hate to come down here because there's nothing going on. Because it's like they can't wait to get out of here. They can't wait to do their time in Abilene, make their dough, and leave.
Yep.
They're going to go somewhere cooler.
Yep. Well, and there's just the job market here is tough for creatives.
Why? It's like I would be interested in even if St. Angelo was an AB board. Like, why is it even got more of a better vibe? They're very similar. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. And here's the other thing is like, I think if there were enough people interested, I would do my due diligence research on what groups and what percentage of the sales tax and what A and B board and all of that get. But I would probably bring in some of my friends from Brownwood that are doing this right now and did it from changing it and really educate everybody, because it's to me, it's absolutely fascinating.
I definitely think maybe we could do this off air, but we should schedule a time to do that in the next few months, and we could do it here or wherever, and let interested people know and come and voice their thoughts and opinions, and maybe see if we can't grow a coalition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abilene should have a higher quality of life than it presents.
Then you gotta
even though I always talk great things about
it.
Storybook Capital of America, and we love all the things that are happening, there's a lot more to do.
Yeah, and all that stuff is great, and all the stuff that's here is great, but it's like support for the people who are keeping the heart of the city and the vibe of the city alive. And that's the thing is like, I don't know for sure off the top of my head what all B board funds can go to, but it's like, you know, if you have a restaurant and your oven goes out and you need $5,000, you can go to the B board and be like, I need this, and they can help with that. Or I want to put new awnings, or I want to paint my building and uplift the face of it. They can help you with those things. So it should, in my opinion, be like, as a business, you are paying into the city to later get help back from that city at some point. And
well,
support.
You want to feel supported by the city that you're doing business in. At the end of the day.
But that's why people don't, and they don't know why they don't. Do you understand?
Yeah, and I think, you know, I've been in business for myself here 15 years. It's a struggle. It's always been a struggle. And you do see a lot of small businesses start and fail within a short period of time because there's a lack of support. And people used to say, oh, you know, you start something in Abilene, it's new, and Abilenians like love the new thing, so they'll go love on that for a little while up front and then kind of fizzle out. I think it has more to do with what you're saying.
Yeah, because like there's no city events, there's no city support, there's no mapping of like, hey, look at this, come to Abilene because we got this business and that. There's no government pushing their city. The visitor city is not like doing these things to help their business. It's all on you.
Yep.
So not only do you running your business, trying to do a good job, but you also have to be marketing everything, events constantly, have a way to connect with everyone and get your voice out. And it's like everything's so disconnected because everyone's a one-man ship. It's not fair. You're supposed to be supported.
Yep. Community.
Yes.
Community. Well, any last thoughts as we wrap up today? We could probably talk for 4 more hours, but we're going to keep it at about an hour today and get you back on.
So many conspiracies to go to. No, I just think like, hey guys, like seriously, and I don't want to say like I'm absolutely hating on Abilene. I'm just tired. I'm tired of seeing it eat people up.
Yep.
And so I think it's a discussion that we need to find the way, and I think that that's definitely an option to look into, a good one. And I think that we're in weird times, and I think that, you know, love your families, be simple, love nature, get back. Here's the thing is, I think in the age of AI and where we're going, the most human will win. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So we need to get back to loving each other. We need to get back to accepting imperfections in each other. And the fight isn't against other people. They want us to fight and be distracted by other people. We are fighting something much bigger and more evil and more powerful than us now. We should just be loving each other and looking at each other like we're both fucked.
We're on the Titanic, everybody. Yay.
So that's it. Like, love each other. You know, I pray for you guys. I do believe in that, and I believe in the power of that. So find your faith, get your life right, and know that if you aren't in control of your desires, very shortly they will be offered to you on a silver platter. So you need to know where your heart is. You need to know where your morals are and your lines are and your boundaries are, because you will be let off a cliff if you're not ready for what's coming.
I like that. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great. Well, y'all, please like and subscribe the show because we need more people to watch it all the time, and I think we're doing some great content. Calina, thanks for being here today. You're a
course.
gem.
Thank
We'll
you.
definitely get you back on, and we'll talk some more about maybe how we can join up politically. So what else do I need to share? Come down Thursdays and watch the show. We do it live about 10. There's great coffee next door at Majestic, Onyx Coffee. Sam, I feel like I'm forgetting something today. But maybe I'm not. I don't know either. This is good. My mind is all just like all over the map right now. All right, friends. Well, enjoy your weekend. And it's August in Abilene, and it's getting warm. So stay cool out there. And got some more guests coming up for the rest of the month. So look forward to that. And we'll see you next Thursday.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You bet, babe. My pleasure.